friendo. Golly. So they think it's weird to a degree. They're like, so you worked on like all these shows? Like, how do you do that? I was like, well, it's been like 7 or 8 years, and it's not like a movie where we get one role in 20 days minimum to shoot a project. Like, we can work on a lot of stuff for anime. So we be working on like 8 to 10 shows at a time and do like maybe 20 shows a year. Like, it's a lot of stuff. So yeah, they think it's cool. They don't necessarily understand it. They slowly but surely understand it. But what's interesting is they'll go, yo, we're gonna go to this like Star Trek convention. Like, William Shatner's gonna be there. What's an anime convention? The exact same thing that you're going to, dude, for anime, just not Star Trek. He's like, they do that? That sounds fun. I'm like, that's where I go on the weekend. They're like, oh, that sounds fun. Yeah, if it were a drag, I wouldn't go. It's awesome. So, yeah, I guess I slowly but surely have to break them in to understand the magic of anime. Although one of them was like, do you know what a brony is? Yes, I know what a brony is. Okay, it's like a guy who loves like My Little Pony. I know. I already said I know what it is. You don't have to give me the definition. He was like, I feel like I'm a brony. Like, I like My Little Pony. I'm a guy. You are a brony. Okay, cool. Do you know they have brony conventions? Yeah, they do. He's like, do people dress up as like My Little Pony? Mm-hmm. Seriously? Do they like wear the t-shirts and stuff too? Sure do. That's why they make the t-shirts, because people wear them. Wow. This is awesome. Did you know they have a belt with My Little Pony on it? I did know that in fact. I did know that. They also have lanyards, they have stuffed toys, they have the whole 9 yards. Seriously, could you find me my pony? I can find you your pony. I'll bring you your favorite pony back. Dude, that would like make my life. You got it. If I can make someone's life with a pony, share the love of ponies, I'm gonna do that. And then they'll say like, you should do what you can to get on My Little Pony. You got it, man. It's not like I don't love My Little Pony as well. But if somebody asks me like, would you like to be on My Little Pony? I'm not gonna be someone to be like, you know what? No, I don't want to travel to Canada to record, and I don't really like adorable rainbow-colored, sweet, happy ponies. It's not really my thing. That's totally my thing. Jeez Louise. Yeah, I'll work on that. Just like I'll work on getting on any show, because I like my job. But yeah, so that's one of those things. Long-winded answer for silly things that happen in my life. Yes?
How did you get into voice acting?
I got into acting when I was 5 because I harassed my mother because I wanted to be on Barney. That didn't happen. That was like my life's ambition, and I knew that once I was on Barney, everything was going to be smooth sailing. I was never on Barney, but my agent, my kid talent agent at the time, I was walking around running my mouth, being obnoxious like I do, and the adult talent agent was like, you can talk pretty fast, and what's your reading level? And I like to read a lot, and so I went in, and I sounded like I was 4 or 5 when I was a kid, so I read all of the copy for, like, I think the first commercial I did was like a 7-Eleven campaign for this little animated girl and her dad, where she was talking about how they make sandwiches, and they went to this crazy tunnel situation with all these crazy things, and so she was telling her dad, like, this is how I believe these sandwiches are made, and it was like a funny, adorable little spot. And so I went in and read for it. They cast me as that, so then I did like 7 of these 7-Eleven commercials. And then from there I started doing a lot of Children's Medical Center commercials, because in Dallas they were like, well, there's this kid, she's about 7, she knows how to work in front of a mic, she can read really fast, she can talk really fast. She's not horribly obnoxious. She's a little obnoxious, but you can deal with her. And so they like cast me in everything. So I was like leaving school in the middle of the day to go record a voiceover commercial. I'd be gone for like an hour, head back to school, do all my homework. And so that's what I did. I did a bunch of voiceover commercials. I did my first cartoon when I was 9. I played a hummingbird. It was for the same company that did Barney, and I walked right by where they were recording Barney, and I was like, and then I had had another opportunity where I met the director that was on Barney, and I worked on this like 2-video series called Prayer Bear, and I was the bully, and I like beat everybody up and like stole cake. I was like a horrible kid. It was awesome. And the director was like, yeah, everybody's on Barney, and the people on set were like, we're gonna get you on Barney next week. I was like, oh, man, it's having on my 8th birthday. My dream is finally becoming real. And the director was like, you know what, I just don't think that you're meant for Barney. I think you're meant to do like real film stuff. And I was like, I think that I'm meant to sing and dance with that purple dinosaur like you have no idea. And then Todd's been on Barney, so he's living my dream. But anyhow, started doing anime when I was 18. I worked for Radio Disney, so I did a lot of VO stuff, which was great because when I was in my awkward years and nobody could hire me on camera, so I was like weird looking. They would still let me do voiceovers. Nobody cared what I looked like, which is a bonus. So yeah, that's kind of how I got into doing VO work. Still just doing acting stuff. I was an actor first, and then got hired to talk more. Any other questions? Yes. What experience did I gain? Like, I mean, just getting to show up to create something every single day of my existence. And when I'm not getting to show up to make something up, I'm usually writing a script at home for like a TV show or something that I would like to produce in the future, just because I have a ridiculously overactive imagination. I don't know if any of you guys do this, but when you leave a movie theater and you can play the movie, like what would happen 5 years in the future, and you're just like living in the movie, I do that all the time. I love when my brain is working. So getting to go to be in a booth, and they'll give you a picture, and that's all you have is a picture of this character and a rough storyline or what her powers are, and then they say everything else is you, just run with it. And they want to create it at the same time, and they're going to guide me. I mean, that's the coolest thing ever, and the fact that I get to keep having the opportunity to do that is amazing. There have been a lot of times just working in voiceover, working in film and television, where I feel like I'm a very safe. I don't like to gamble. I don't like to do any. I like to play by the rules and play it safe as Cherami, just because I don't like to mess things up and get in trouble. But for some reason, when I'm playing a character, I don't care, and I can do anything under like the mask or the guise of that character. And then when I go home at the end of the day, I'm like, that was pretty awesome what she did. And I'm like, no, that was me. I was able to do that. I just had to have her to help get me through that. But I was able to do that. And it's a very empowering thing to be able to kind of like hide behind a character to get through some stuff that you never thought you could possibly do, which is kind of the coolest thing in the world. And I was talking to somebody that said, yeah, that's why I like to cosplay. And I would never feel comfortable talking to people, but I love this character, and I feel like when I go to a convention, I can talk to people, I can meet new people, because I have this character that I feel is so cool and so amazing, and I relate to, and I hold on to what I relate to, and that's how I can step over a hurdle of not being scared or not being shy or things like that. And that's exactly what I do as an actor. So I think that's super cool. And that's what I love about conventions, is it's a bunch of people that are willing to jump over hurdles every day and like try things new and get to know new people. But since everybody here is so welcoming and encompassing and like not judgmental, which is not necessarily how a lot of the world is, specifically high school, you can do that here, and you can explore, and you can try new things, and that's kind of like the greatest thing in the world. And so when I talk to people and they say, I want to be an actor, what's one thing I should look for, what's one thing I should do as a voice actor, and I say, they're like, what's the best school to go to? There's no real the best school to go to. The best school for one person is probably the worst school for another person. You just have to try it out and go to a class, or go to an environment where you feel safe and you're willing to try new things and you're willing to step out of the box and you're willing to say like, you know, I don't care what people say about this. This I think is cool, and if it bombs, they're gonna laugh with me and tell me I did a good job and they're glad I stepped out. That's the best place for you to be if you want to grow as an actor or grow as a voice actor or grow in anything, is just being in a welcoming, safe environment to create. So that's kind of what I feel like I've been very fortunate to do, working at Funimation and working for Bang Zoom and working for any and all the companies that I get to work for, is working with people that are accepting, and they're not going to be like, hey Cherami, that sucked. And if they do, it's in a joking way, and they'll say like, that's okay, it was funny anyway. So as long as somebody laughs and it sucked, it's okay. But yeah, that's kind of what I take away from it. Yes? I don't, because I mean, like, obviously I have stuff that's been like monumental to me, like Borderlands was like the first video game I worked on, and it was a really great collaborative project. The writer was like really welcoming and wanted me to improvise and wanted me to do all this stuff, which is a lot of fun. Fairy Tale's been like such a long series that I totally feel safe in the character, and I love her, and I love getting to go to work and just be with the Fairy Tale group every day. Sword Art Online was really exciting for me, so it was the first show I got to do in LA. Soul Eater was a lot of fun. I mean, there's been different moments working on different shows. I mean, Black Butler was cool. Different shows where I got to work on them, and it's been very odd that when I work on a show, oddly enough, the character will say something or do something or be dealing with something that in some strange metaphorical way, I'm dealing with the same thing in my life, and I'll be saying the lines going, this is a really cathartic experience. So in my life, I don't know, my life mantra of everything happening for a reason, I feel like all the projects that I've gotten were at the perfect time frame for me, that I really felt like I connected with the character. So it's hard for me to pick a favorite, because I'm like, well, that one led to this, and I wouldn't have been able to do this character if I hadn't done the one before, and they all like prepared me for the shows that came next. So I love all of them. And I'll watch back and I'll laugh and I'll be like there was a show the show that I worked on when I was 9, and my mom was like, let's just watch the pilot, and I was like, this was a train wreck. Like, I sounded so ridiculous. But then I started thinking about it. I was like, but I was 9, and that's great that I was able to do that when I was 9, and that people liked it, and now look where I am now. If I was still the same actor that I was when I was 9, then we have a problem, because that would mean I stopped growing. So as long as I keep growing and I keep working on projects, then I can't pick a favorite. They were all a favorite for the time. So, yes, in the back of the conference. I have not. You're so sweet. Thank you. Come give me a hug. That's so sweet. So much of that was improvised. I would say probably like 40% of the echo logs were made up. They gave me like a rough breakdown of like, okay, so she won 3rd place. Now talk about like how you feel about that. I remember specifically, have you heard any of the echo logs? Yeah. Okay. One of the things where she's talking about like, and she like exploded, and then talking about the extent of the explosion and where things went. I just told him, I was like, I just feel like in order to create the world of her for the people listening, since there's nothing, we need to describe like, because there would be eyeballs falling from the ceiling. I mean, obviously. So it was just whatever I saw in my head, and he would just let me ramble and say whatever and freak out about Marcy having more money than God and all of that. Marcy's dad having more money than God and all that fun stuff. So it was a lot of fun. Yes.
You mentioned about writing your own scripts.
Yeah.
Have you given them others that you're putting energy into producing it?
There's a couple. Obviously, to produce stuff requires money, and like a lot of money to produce a film or a TV show. And I've written a couple of television scripts. One of them I think would be a really fun comedy to do, and then there's a couple of feature films that I would like to do. And then a friend of mine and I are working together to do like a cheaper movie that we would be able to do quickly. So yeah, I'm working on that kind of stuff. Obviously, my energy has been focused at this time in like prepping for the films and the projects and the auditions and stuff that I'm working on, and the VO projects and things like that, so that I can get more established. Because I think the way that I would want to do it is to get more established and more secure, so that I could give somebody a script and say, this is kind of what I want this to be, and I would be able to say, like, I will be able to put this money into it, can you put this money into it, and we'll both believe in the project. So right now it's just fine-tuning them and writing scripts and coming up with something. There's a project that seems way bigger than me right now, that I'm slowly but surely trying to jot down ideas for, because it has a lot of things, but I think that'll be really fun once I'm able to like hyper-focus. Any other questions? Yes.
So I know that you recorded a lot of lines with Austin. Was there one that like stuck out to you, or that you had like a favorite one?
I know there's like, I can remember specific scenes. I loved the scenes with her and Yui and Kirito, just because I thought those were like so sweet. I loved the like sincerity and the simplicity and the real nature of like the bedroom scene with Kirito and Asuna, just when they were talking. I liked that, because I mean, when we recorded it, the director, Alex, was like, that was like a movie. Like, that was like real. That was like you and Bryce just talking. That was so awesome. And Bryce and I did not hear the other person recording, so that when we finally heard it, we were like, that did seem like a movie. That was awesome. I'm trying to think of any. I mean, obviously, I love when the characters get to fight, because I think that's like so empowering. And I'm like, yeah, she did that. That was so cool. I just love all the like the romantic conversational aspects, and to see the arc of what they'll do because they really care about each other. I just thought that was really sweet show. Yeah. I don't know. I mean, it sounds, I'm not sure. I don't really, and I don't look at the roles and be like, this one was like a main character, this one was like not. I mean, there was a character that I worked on that still sticks out in my mind as being one of my all-time favorite characters ever, and she was only in 3 episodes, but she's probably, no, I think she probably is one of my top 5 favorite villains that I've ever gotten to play, and that was Shijima in Nabari. I don't know why, but I thought being an 11-year-old, but actually like 100 or 1,000, whatever, immortal person that looked like an 11-year-old with super long hair that bit people was pretty cool. And that was another thing where I was like, it's very weird, especially being a girl, when girls are, you're not supposed to make like weird noises or do stupid things like that, which is dumb. Do whatever you want. But like you're not, I mean like as far as like what you were supposed to do, as far as what society says that's not normal, like guys can make all the weird noises and do all those funny things. And so when I started working in anime, and they're like, yeah, you're gonna do this reaction, or you're gonna make this horrible weird gurgling sound when you bite someone. I was like, Anna? That sounds weird. But then once I did it, I was like, that was so cool. That's why boys do that, because it's awesome. I get it. So So yeah, that's like one of the reasons why I love that villain is because that was a big moment for me to be like kind of gross and creepy and weird. And then when I left the booth, I was like, that was awesome. Let's do that again. Let's go bite people. Just not really. I don't like to bite people. It's weird. I just want to hurt anybody. Yes.